Hello, today we're talking about abbreviation, right? And abbreviation, if you go to your Fowler notes on page 3, refers to curtailed words, right? That have been shortened, basically, right? And here I wanted to single out some of the choices that Fowler gives you, like rep for reputation, but some others that I thought you may not be aware of, like cab, coming from cabriolet, right? It is a very maybe unusual reference for you. Coxswain, right, which is what we call un timonel in English, right, which now we call cox. Flu, the short for influenza. Fridge. Women's lib. Then mobile. A mob is actually comes from mobile. I don't think, no, that's not here, a mob, but maybe in the word origin they will provide the, now here we get collocations and word origin, yes, from mobile vulgus, right, an excitable crowd, right? Then there's pram from perambulator. I know you know pram is cochecito, right? That what you used to carry to transport children, right? To push children around. That sounds a bit off like that. Perambulator, right? Then prep for preparation, professional. Pub comes from public house, right? Then quotes from quotation marks. Rep from reputation, right? Then one that I like is specs. For spectacles in the past, something we don't use anymore, but also the specs for speculation. Here it comes without the S, but you also speak of the specs, not speculation in the sense of hypothesizing, but rather the speculation, that the specific information about one object, right? So the specs, right? Taxi comes from taximeter, cab. Vet from veterinary, surgeon. Viva voce, that is good. Oops, I'm missing one. Let's see. This is the oral exam in British universities, right? The viva voce, viva voce. And then zoo comes actually from zoological garden, right? Okay. Now, what I wanted to show you as well is that we have the same terminology in Spanish, right? Here we are in el panhispánico de dudas, and here, y aquí pueden ver los títulos de abreviación, que es el término genérico, dentro de los cuales se encuentran las abreviaturas, que es muy similar a lo que nosotros acabamos de ver, y los acortamientos, salvo que en español los acortamientos, perdón, las abreviaturas pueden ser por truncamiento, como cod para código, prol para prólogo, y también por contracción, como cuando decimos prof.a, profesora, right? Now, recuerden que en ese prof después lo sigue un punto y la A va voladita, ¿no? Va arriba. Después si quieren pueden entrar aquí y averiguar un poquito más. Tenemos los acrónimos, que son los mismos que los acronyms en English. Tenemos las siglas, que van a ser lo que nosotros llamamos initialism. El acrónimo es el que se pronuncia como una palabra. La sigla es la que se pronuncia separado, es decir, cada letra por sí sola. Y recuerden también que en una sigla, cada letra, es decir, la sigla en su totalidad se denomina sigla. Pero, por ejemplo, FBI es una sigla, pero cada una de las letras también es una sigla. La F es una sigla, la B es una sigla y la I es una sigla. Y también tenemos los símbolos. Los símbolos son las monedas, currencies, las operaciones matemáticas, mathematical symbols, los elementos químicos, chemical elements, las unidades de medida, measurement units, los puntos cardinales, cardinal points, y los libros de la Biblia, que se denominan books of the Bible, right? Por último, quisiera decir que cuando nosotros hablamos de una sigla, o de una abreviatura y la expandimos, lo que decimos en español es desarrollar una sigla, desarrollar los elementos abreviados. También puede encontrarse la palabra desplegar, ¿sí? Desplegar los elementos abreviados. In English, you explain an abbreviation, you expand an abbreviation, and sometimes you also say FBI stands for Federal Bureau of Investigation, right? That's how we explain it. Okay, so we discussed abbreviations from Fowler on page 3, and now let's go to acronyms, right, on pages 67 and, 17 and 18, right? So as I was saying, the acronym is the same as acronym, right? As in Spanish, acrónimo, yes, sorry, and it is formed by the first letters of a word, and we pronounce it as a word. So whatever it is that we're talking about, it becomes a word, right? And we have many examples. Many of them are here, and you need to check pronunciation always. NATO. Can't remember whether I will go directly to the, yes, NATO, right? I went directly to the acronym NATO, we say. Also, the next example is UNESCO. UNESCO, check the pronunciation. WASP. First, I'm going to go to the animal, right? And then I'll have to check, click the link for the acronym. The pronunciation is WASP, right? And it is a person of privileged background, right? Because it comes from white Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, right? Not a very politically correct term. You know many others like laser, right? Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. You also know radar, right? Laser, radar, radio detection and ranging, right? And there's also things like snafu, right? And here we're going to go to some more interesting examples like snafu, which is situation normal, all fouled, or fucked up, right? So a snafu is when something goes wrong, right? A beautiful example of a snafu was when the Oscar awards were given. I think it was 2019 or 2018 when they gave the Oscar to the wrong film. Do you remember? I can't remember what film that was. And also on that day, they celebrated someone who apparently had passed away, but who had not passed away. On the same day, during rehearsals for the Oscar celebration, part of the decorations fell on the stage. So there were 3 snafus that day, right? Okay, there are many other popular acronyms like AWOL, right? Absent without leave. Now this is because it is official leave. The O is official leave. To go, she went AWOL, right? Maybe you know this one, scuba. Oops. Scuba, which is a self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, right? Scuba. We don't have the. No, we don't have it. Okay. Let me give you others that are very popular, such as. Oh, I missed one. This one, POTUS. Right? This is very popular in the US. This is the President of the United States. And we also have FLOTUS, which is the First Lady of the United States. And then we also have SCOTUS, which is the Supreme Court of the United States, right? So all of these are acronyms. Now, these are acronyms that are very popular. There was one that I don't think was here. I checked it out and it wasn't. So we're going to go here to DINK. In Merriam-Webster, a DINK is a couple with no incomes, sorry, 2 incomes and no children. So double income, no kids, right? DINK means double income, no kids. And then we have a dinky couple. A dinky couple. So this means this these people have a lot of money to spend, right? That's the idea when you speak of dinky people, right? And it's also apparently a pank. It's not in the dictionary, which is a professional and no kids, right? So she has no kids, she has money to spend on you. That's the idea, having a nice pank. Now, there are two words that for a long time have been believed to be acronyms and are not. One of them is snob, right? Snob was believed to come from sine nobilitate, right? And this is not true, basically. Oops, I got the, no, sorry. Snob, slowly. So it's not sine nobilitate, so simply they're not so sure about the origin of this word, right? The origin is unknown. It may come from cobbler, but it's not clear. What is clear is that it's not sine nobilitate, right? Without nobility. This is not true. And then there's
Snob.
Snob. Thank you. And then there's also posh. People used to think this meant port out, starboard, home. What is that? Let me check with you. Perhaps coming from posh denoting dandy. There is no evidence to support the folk etymology that posh is formed from the initials of port out, starboard home. What is this? It refers to the more comfortable accommodation out of the heat of the sun on ships between England and India. For this, you need to know that port and starboard are the two parts of a ship, right? Port está a la derecha, starboard a la izquierda, port. Me olvidé los términos en castellano. Well, it doesn't matter. I will remember in class. So whatever the case, what matters is that people believed that because on their way to India, they would rich people would sit on the more comfortable side of the ship, which would be away from the heat of the sun, right? So they would be on the right when going on their way to India, and sitting on the left side coming back home, right? Babor y estribor. Ahí salieron. Port, babor, starboard, estribor. No, estribor, port, starboard, babor. Oh, check it out. I may be wrong. All right. So that was it for acronyms and initialisms. So remember, the acronym is the one you can pronounce as a word, right? And so you read it out as a word, and also remember that the initialism is the one in which you pronounce the words individually, right? So why do I want to go here? No, I didn't want to go here. I wanted to go here. And in the meantime, les voy a dejar con la duda. Babor es el lado izquierdo, sí señor, y estribor es el lado derecho. All right. So when I corrected myself, I was right, because I'm a technical rule. Estribor es derecha. All right. The last thing I wanted to do with you was something that was not planned, right? Which is to go about talking about blends, right? A blend is a combination of two words, but Oxford doesn't have the definition for this one. It has the technical term portmanteau words, right? Portmanteau words are words which blend two words, right? In which two words become one, right? Like motel from motor and hotel, like Oxbridge coming from Oxford and Cambridge, like ginormous, which is a combination of gigantic and enormous. I learned here that this apparently comes from the military. Who knew? There are many others like sandwiches and documentary, but they're not included in the dictionary. And possibly you know many others like Brangelina from the time when Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were a couple, right? But there are many others putting couples together. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this. So remember, we have seen abbreviations, acronyms, which are pronounced as the word, initialisms, in which you pronounce each letter separately, and uh, just a final gift before we go, blends or portmanteau words. I hope you have enjoyed this as much as I do, clearly. Thank you very much. Hi, bye.